Hello hobbyists, thanks for joining me. Quick unboxing for you today. This is the Tamiya Grasshopper, and this is a re-release. This is a new kit, but it's very faithful to the original car from the early to mid 80s. A couple of reasons why I wanted to buy this simple car. One of them is that my son's first build, he built about a year ago. He built a Hornet, which is a relation to this car. It's basically a little bit better version of this car. He built a Hornet and he did a very good job. He built it himself, painted it himself, masked it himself, the whole thing. I only helped him with a couple of things. And since I've seen him run that car, and he's pretty well run the wheels off of that thing, made me very interested in getting one myself. I saw him having fun with it and thought, maybe I ought to get me a Hornet. But not to get the same car. I started looking at the Grasshopper. And the white is a classic. You know, we like the white, but I just wasn't committed. Once I saw this limited edition, black edition, it's a limited production run. In fact, I believe it's actually gone out of production by now. But once I saw that black, kind of a Hornet color scheme with yellow wheels and the stripes, I thought, yeah, I'm having that. Click, and I ordered one up. So I've got the simple Grasshopper here. The other reason I wanted to have this car was I knew I wanted to experience, or I should say experiment, with the time-lapse settings on my camera. I wanted to do a time-lapse build, and this car is a very easy build. And being inexpensive and an easy build, I figured that if I screwed the settings up somehow and it wasn't usable, you know, I wouldn't be out that much. It's not a huge deal to have missed this build. So that was the other reason I thought a Grasshopper would be a good choice to have. So let's dig into this thing and see what we get in our re-release Grasshopper. This is actually a special edition car. This was just a limited production run. I believe they've actually gone out of production now and no longer produce this black edition. Love the way they're cellophane wrapped. All right, new Tamiya kit. It's always a good day when you open one of these. Let's take a look here at our Grasshopper. Awesome. So right off the bat, we notice we do have a black molded body. This has the body and the lower chassis components in this bag. We've got our tires here, pretty traditional. Front ribs, and then we've got kind of the small paddle on this one. This is one of the differences between the Grasshopper and the Hornet, is the Hornet would have spikes and the Grasshopper had the like old school sand tires. So if you're getting into a beach or something, that tire might work out for you. We have our front suspension arms and chassis component. Down here we've got our instruction manual, the black edition. Sweet. One thing to note, we're going to find a small motor in here. This car, I believe, is going to come with the 380 size motor, which already has a pinion gear pressed on it. But I think there should be a plate, an optional motor mounting plate for the larger motor. Here's our speed control. This unit is their new brushless ready one. This is pretty much the unit they're including in all their kits now. It's capable of running a censored brushless motor, and I believe it'll go down to a 10 turn, or a 10.5. But it's also rated for brushed, although it's probably not the best performing brushed speed control. I think it's been designed more for brushless. And it also does brushed, if that makes sense. We've got more parts here. These are our chassis roll bars and the battery plate, our scale driver, This is going to be one of the things we get to paint. Make him kind of look detailed. Put him together. Here we've got our gearbox halves. And we've also got the motor plate piece here. Obviously this motor plate is designed to run either the 380 or a 540. It's got different drill holes in it so you can mount either motor. We've also got the rear axle pivots and the rear wheel adapters. Here we go. Check out the neon yellow wheels. That is unique to this kit. Most of these kits obviously had white. So the Hornet, the Grasshopper, the Frog, all of those had white wheels, but this one has yellow. That's pretty cool. Here's our decal sheet. Let's take a look at this. Yeah. The Grasshopper team. And it's in more of the Hornet style coloring. Well, maybe not Hornet exactly, because I think Hornet was two-tone yellow and orange with a black stripe. This is kind of a black, yellow, and red, but it's pretty close. It's obviously different than the standard Grasshopper, which would have had a green, red, and dark green. You know, lime green, red, and dark green. Stick that aside. Let's look at this box here. This is going to be most of our last thing, antenna tube. Don't really need these anymore unless you're gonna go really old school and use an AM radio. Maybe we'll do that one day. That'll be kind of weird. We like old school kits, but I don't want to go back to old school radios. Sorry. 2.4 is just that much better. So here's our gonna be our hardware parts. Here's our bumper. We have our mighty 380 can motor. Oh yeah, that's gonna really perform so well. Make this car about as fast as, well, a 380 can be, let's say that. Axle hardware here and our tool. This is they give you a multi-tool in every one of their kits. We've got our springs for our shock absorbers and part of the gearing, front knuckles, grease. Kind of a random parts bag here. Here's one of the screw bags. Looks like maybe one of the hinge pins or axle pin. That might be one of the pins for inside the gearbox. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's probably some of the shock mounting hardware. There's some sleeves and pins in there. Nothing really exciting. Again, more hardware, wheel nuts. Tinier hardware in this bag. These look like all 2mm, mostly 2mm anyway. Some set screws. And here's our wonderful bag of bushings that you'll find in every Tamiya kit. Probably not going to use these. We're going to probably throw bearings in this, even though it's got a 380 motor and isn't going to be much faster than very many crawlers. I just like bearings. Here's our gear kit, or the gear bag. Pretty basic, big differential gear. You can see the big side gears here. The big side, these are the side gear. And then these little ones here are the spider gears. That's basically it. That's what this kit's got in it. I think this is going to be a pretty fast build. I mean, everything's big parts. You know, it's pretty basic. If you've never really built a kit before, this is a good place to start. No, it's not very fast. No, it's not, as capable or as durable as like a Bandit, but it can be a pretty fun car. The instruction manual, everything's laid out really nice. They show you diagrams. Whoops, sliding off my hand. They show you like exact screw sizes, where they go. I mean, everything's laid out really easy to deal with. The different bushing sizes over here, what you're looking at, the hinge, the pins that maybe the gears ride on that you can see here. So, I mean, these are really easy to deal with. The tools you're gonna need, Mostly it's a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. And you can build this whole car with that little tool they give you. They give you their multi-tool, which you'll use on all the nuts. It's just really pretty easy. So far, how many steps? There's 15. This is probably the hardest step to build a Tamiya car. Putting these tires together, mostly just inserting this centerpiece into the wheel or into the tire, that's probably the hardest step for this whole car. That can be pretty tough to get those together. Looks like we got up to 24 steps to put this car together. And then here at the back, you've got, you know, basic instructions. We got our little kids that say, you know, on, and do this. And then they tell you, like, there's like safety warnings, where they, you know, run it into a car and they, you know, basically says no, that sort of thing. Yeah, see up here. It's hot, be careful. Clean it when you're done. Don't run it in water. Well, we probably will. Then at the back, you've got your parts listing here. Shows you the diagram of the different parts trees. So if you break an A arm, you're gonna have to order this A parts tree, and they give you the part number. I mean, it's pretty basic. These are really fun builds. I would encourage you to go out and try one if you've never had something like this before. If you're interested in building a car, maybe not this one, but try one of these Tamiya kits once. They're pretty fun to deal with. So anyway, that's it for our Grasshopper. It's time to get building, and we'll catch you next time.